My first introduction to drag was probably in the early 90s when RuPaul was on TV.
You better shoot, Ronnie. It's RuPaul!
It was hard not to notice her. That was probably the first, like, oh, what's happening there? There's a man dressed as a woman, and I kind of picked up on that, even though I was fairly young at the time. And I fell in love with it. I think Vanilla is kind of like my superhero. So glamorous and ridiculous and able to do whatever she wants and powerful. I think it's kind of an extension of that, like what you wanted to be as a child. My childhood superhero. I think some people are misinformed about drag and think that because you put on the gender of someone else or an accentuated version of gender that you want to live your life that way, and I don't want to live my life this way. It's very uncomfortable. It's kind of a way for some of us to push back against what we've always been told, which is no. Because when you're a little queer kid, you're told, no, you can't do that. Within the past like 10 years or so, language has been like really evolving. So I didn't know what it was that I was called until fairly recently, until I was like in my 30s. But now I think the thing that fits me best is trans feminine, which is someone who was born a male but identifies more with femininity. But yeah, it's definitely affected my life in a lot of interesting ways. My family is not great with it, and they haven't been from the get-go. My family is very religious. They're non-denominational Protestant, and I was raised in the church, going to church multiple times a week. I never fit into that world. I would stand up on the coffee table and swirl around and sing The Sound of Music and not want to sing hymns. I wasn't like loud and disruptive. I was just, obviously, a queer child, and they didn't know what to do with that. When I came out to my family, they did not have a positive reaction to it. There was a lot of screaming and crying, and most of that was revolved around the religion and that I was going to hell and that I could never be a happy person if I was living my life in a queer way. And I was prepared for a negative reaction, and I got a negative reaction. My parents did send me immediately to conversion therapy and made me promise to never act on my feelings. So, for years, every week, I would go to an office on the outskirts of Philadelphia and meet with counselors who would probe with kind of questions that were meant to open me up to their mind bending games that they would want to play. And it was very unpleasant. And because of that, I was kind of, I was forced into silence in a way, if only for my own survival. And so I decided to just kind of become like a locked box. I was refusing to give them anything. So, and that way I kind of just clamped shut. Their plan for me was not going to be successful. I was very determined that I was going to live my life the way that I only knew how. I was going to be true to myself. Luckily, I don't feel like conversion therapy really left a mark on me because I was so determined to be closed to it. Long before I was in conversion therapy, I was ostracized every day at school. I had rocks thrown at me and food thrown at me, and people threatened to kill me and all those things. So I was kind of already fairly Teflon. I had like a non-stick coating on me where things just kind of slid off. And I think in some ways maybe that still kind of affects me to this day. So I tend to process a lot of things internally. And drag has definitely helped me process those things externally in a healthier way. But yeah, sometimes I think I still have a little bit of a problem opening up. At the sake of sounding corny, I think one word I would use to describe my experience with drag is freedom. Just wait until the time comes when you can fully embrace who you are. Don't look back and don't feel guilty about it. And don't let anyone make you feel bad about it.